Hello, everyone. This is Betterment of Black Women with a live video. I'm going live early because I got other things to take care of. But first and foremost, I'd like to apologize for skipping yesterday's live because I got super busy. I was out. I thought I was gonna come back on time to do the live, but I got so busy that I didn't even make it yesterday. So I apologize for that. Uh, but I am live now and I am early. I was supposed to be scheduled for 12:30, but I decided to get up on here early and just start the video. And this video is going to be very important because as the Black community, we need to put our children first, always. Because I'm seeing a lot of adults lately, especially the men, that can't handle rejection. And they are out here unaliving women because women are refusing to give them their number, or they just don't want to date them, or they broke up with them for whatever reason, and that sends them in a spiral downturn, and it caused them to black out and unalive the woman that's in their relationship. And Black women are in the crossfire, and I think this is being done on purpose to humble the Black woman or to lower her self esteem, of whatever the agenda is, to with these unalivings. It's not working. More Black women now are distancing themselves away from men, are venting men more closely now. Is because of these unalivings that these men cannot walk away. And I just heard recently that a South African woman was unalived by her American husband. But we're even though that has to be related to these guys just being abusive and not treating women the way they should be treated, it goes back to this kind of trauma of not liking women because they were rejected in high school and middle school by girls that did not like them, and they carry that burden or that trauma on them as they go into adulthood. And it gets very, very dangerous because these guys do not go to therapy once they reach adulthood to pass this trauma that they are experiencing when it comes to rejection. So this is very serious of why as Black women, we really do need to be careful when dating, because dating nowadays is getting really dangerous when it really shouldn't be. And it's not even dating, it's just being approached by these guys, and these guys having an agenda to unalive a woman if they get rejected by them. It's a trap. And sometimes we feel like when we get approached by guys, it can be very scary because you don't know what these guys are going to do or what their agenda is. Like, I was fortunate to have guys be respectful and just walk away, but this is not happening to most women. And it could lead down a path where women in general don't want uh, to date at all, because it's or talk to or be approached by men because of the unalivings that is happening. Women probably ain't going to deal with men like that. And I'm not saying uh they're going to go to the opposite sex. They just don't want to deal with the negativity that these unhealed men are carrying around. These guys have demons in them that they themselves don't know how to separate themselves from, or they just don't want to. So I think goes back to our children needing therapy, and that we need to be able to install confidence in our children so that they can be able to handle rejection and be able to uh, live life like a normal human being. But, you know, until we get to that place, this is going to keep on happening. So I'm going to show a couple of TikTok videos that I'm going to share.
Welcome to Crime Time. Don't think it can't happen. This happened in Atlanta, Georgia. In February 2024, during a welfare check, Atlanta police found 51-year-old Samantha Bozeman, or Bozeman, excuse me if I say her last name wrong, unalive by gunfire in her Southwest Atlanta home in the 2200 block of Sandridge Place, Southwest. Samantha was found with multiple gunshot wounds and was pronounced deceased at the scene. In March of this year, Maxwell Laudery, age 33, was convicted for the unaliving of Samantha. Laudery was Samantha's boyfriend that she was trying to end a 4-year abusive relationship with. In retaliation, he fired through her front door 4 times, striking her 3 times. Fulton County Chief Senior Assistant DA Cassie Hall said the whole thing was caught on the ring camera, and that's him right there doing it. There's a video also if you would like to find that. She stated there's another video that I have where he's saying, if you come outside, I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to shoot your house. Laudery was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole, plus 5 years, as well as 10 years probation if he ever made parole. Samantha's daughter, Hiwayana, I don't want to say her, I'm trying not to say her name wrong, Hiwayana Bozeman stated, I was just broken, completely broken and shattered. She's a beautiful spirit, just happy, joyful. She'll get on you if she had to, but she was just a happy, helpful person. To be honest with you, I break down and cry every single day. Some days I don't even want to go on. That's what her other daughter, Zipporah Ferguson, said. At the time of the shooting, Laudery had not been contributing to any of the household bills and wanted Samantha to give up custody of 2 of her grandchildren that she had adopted. Zipporah said that shortly before her unaliving, Samantha came to her job crying. She's like, I'm done with him. I'm done with him and everything like that, Zipporah said. Prosecutors say ATL police were alerted by neighbors who heard gunshots earlier in the day. Police arrived to find shattered glass and shell casings. They then found Samantha in the kitchen. Investigators believe she had been alive and bleeding for some time and might have lived if Lottery had called for help soon after the shooting. So they know that, and they still give him life with the possibility of parole. Lottery had called, excuse me. Instead, he traveled about Metro ATL trying to establish an alibi, finishing the night at Hooters. D.A. Robinson said, don't think of domestic violence as just physical, but it can be economic abuse. He wasn't paying bills. He wasn't being a responsible male. Khadijah stated she was able to be financially stable, travel around a lot, and she just wanted to help Max. But him being a user, not to mention unmotivated, he was dependent on a woman, as we've noticed lately. Rest in peace, Miss Samantha.
Okay, so you guys just saw that video there of this woman being unalived by her unsupportive boyfriend who didn't contribute nothing to the household. Has unalived her because she got sick and tired of her leashing off of her and tried to tell her what to do with her grandkids. So this caused him to unalive her because he depended on her financially. And women, this is the problem. Please stop financially supporting these men when they don't want to be, uh, when these men don't have anything to offer, they don't bring nothing to the table. They are unaliving you in record numbers because you guys are supporting them. Please stop supporting broke men. They do not deserve your attention. As women, we need to find a guy that's financially stable. But even if he's going to be financially stable, he needs to have his mind right. Okay, he needs to have his mind right in order for you guys to have a decent relationship because things can go wrong. Hey, Kathleen, don't give men money. Exactly, don't give them money. Stop financially supporting them. This is why these unalivings are happening because these men are broken. These men are broken inside mentally. So let's go to the next one.
But
Oh, this is
unfortunately,
an that was a robbery, not a relationship. That was a robbery. Hold on a second. Um,
A little before 2:30 a.m. on Sunday, March 17th, 19-year-old twin sisters Samaya and Sanaya Spain went to Slope Natural Plus Deli and Grill in the Park Slope neighborhood of Brooklyn, New York. Their brother was with them and they had just come from a family game night. Family members say the twins had also gone to a club earlier during the night. They had decided to stop by the store to get something to snack on, and the owner of Slope Natural Plus says that the twins were regular customers in the store. While walking to the bodega, a friend who was with the twins noticed a man following Samaya. So, in one article, it says that this man was actually at the club on the same night that the girls were there. Now, to get the man to go away, Samaya ended up providing her Instagram handle to him. When Samaya refused the drunk man's advances and told him she wouldn't follow him back on Instagram, he started getting belligerent and stormed out of the store. A few moments later, he attempted to push his way through the store's entrance, pushing Samaya in the process. When that happened, everyone else, including some of the store workers, pushed him out of the door and locked it so he couldn't come back in. During this time, the man also tried stabbing one of the store workers. Now, thinking that the man was gone, Sanaya and Samaya exited the store a short time later. The man came up to them again, this time with the knife visible in his hands. Sanaya said that the man said, "I'm gonna stab y'all in the face." He pushed Samaya to the ground before running at her with the knife in his hand. The girl's older brother intervened, pushing the man to the ground. Sanaya says that when she went to grab Samaya's phone, the guy stabbed her in the arm before stabbing Samaya in the neck. Police found Samaya with stab wounds to her chest and neck and rushed both of the twins to New York Presbyterian Brooklyn Methodist Hospital, where Samaya was later pronounced dead. Sanaya is expected to make a full recovery from her injuries. So the suspect is still on the run. There's not much information about him, just this picture that they caught of him when he was trying to enter the
Mhm.
store. The sources used for this video were Fox 5, The New York Post, The Guardian, and People magazine.
So this man purposely unalive this young woman because she would not follow him back on Instagram. So this is very sad. This is very tragic. Rest in peace to this 19-year-old girl. She did not get a chance to live, or we did not see what this girl would have become later on in her years, because this man has taken her life. So this is what I want to tell women: do not give the man social media. Do not give him your phone number, because if you do, he's going to harass you big time. He's going to harass you big time. If you are going to give him a social media, make sure you guys have a fake account and then delete it. If you're going to give him your number, block him so he would not call you, so he would not text you. Because the first thing a guy's going to do, when you're giving your number, he's going to call you, okay, to make sure your number works. So when you see your phone ringing and you guys just part ways, block him immediately. Please block him immediately so he won't call you, or you guys can give him a Google number. Give him a Google number, because if you guys give these guys your real number, they can find out your information. So if you give him a Google number, he won't be able to trace you that way. So always have a Google number by hand, so that you, you could be able to block him, and he can't. Where he gonna find you with a Google number? He can't find you anywhere. So basically, these guys are very out of control. These are very hurt men that are on social media, and not only that, in real life, trying to get revenge on women, not by pretending to rejecting them. That's just part of the reason. The other reason is to unalive them, to send a message to other women: this could happen to you if you reject me. And I don't think that's fair. I think that's very dangerous for a man to do that to a woman. And this goes back to men that can't handle rejection. When a woman says no to them, when a woman says no to you, it means no. Please stop asking these women for their validation, because men have to learn to handle rejection. I will get to the therapy with the kids in a minute, but let's get to the next video.
What's going on, everybody? I don't do a lot of videos. Really, I don't do any. But I just want everybody, I want the whole country to hear about this story. Because there's so many stories like this, and they go unnoticed. Just recently, out of Birmingham, Alabama, there's a young female black, beautiful young female black. Her name is Mahogany Jackson. And you have these 7 other black people that befriended this young girl. And they pretended to be her friend. In some kind of way, the girl got herself mixed up with these thugs. And There was 4 male blacks and 4 female blacks. They kidnapped this young girl. They beat this young girl. They stomped this young girl. They kicked her. They dragged her. They choked her. And they brutally raped this young girl at gunpoint. The young girl screamed for her life. She pleaded with them, but they showed no mercy. They tortured this young girl and they took her life. The sad part about it is I don't see anybody upset about it. There's no media coverage, except in Birmingham. They had it on the news, of course. There's no Black Lives Matter coming out marching, saying that they want justice and say her name. Where's the women advocate groups at? They're saying that they want justice for a female. Where are the strong men at? They're standing up and protest, saying, hey, let's protect our females. But if it had been a white man and did it to one black male, oh my God, it would have been all across the country. Wrong is wrong and right is right. You can't make wrong be right. But just because they're black, I guess, oh, yeah, just to make an excuse for them. Well, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all, whatsoever. Something needs to be done in this country. The laws are twisted, the laws are backwards. And I guarantee you, these people that did this to her are repeat offenders. And they just got a slap on the wrist. Every time I hear a story about this, I'm going to make another video. I'm going to bring it to people because undoubtedly there's people too afraid to even talk about it. I think they're too afraid of getting called an Uncle Tom or you're a racist. You know what? Fuck you. If you don't like what I said, then too bad.
Okay, you guys just heard that from that man. So this goes back to men not handling rejection. That was a setup. That was a setup for them to torture and kill this girl. And to have girls involved in this, they were doing what these males tell them to do because I had a feeling that they have stalked this girl. They were planning to do something with this girl, so they pretend to befriend her. And once they got her to become their friends, they did the unthinkable to this girl. And now she is no longer here. And we also have to hold these women accountable too, because they also participate in harming in other women, these pygmies that want to be with these males, because it was mostly males that did this to this girl, but there were also females involved. So they unalived that 20-year-old for no reason whatsoever, and they got away scot-free. And these women help these SA offenders. They help them, and we have to um, we have to, as a Black community, we have to report these things because it could happen to any of us and any of our families. We cannot sit here and let this happen. But as always, the Black community, we're not on the same page as if this was the white community.
Black women are 6 times more likely to be killed due to domestic violence than their white counterparts. While domestic violence is the leading cause of death for Black women ages 15 to 35 years old. How many of you have students going off to college? Young ladies, you need to prepare them. You need to educate them. Let them know this statistic, this is the reality. Even though Black women experience domestic violence at significantly higher rates than white women, they tend to remain silent. This may be due to a number of reasons. Silence out of fear and distrust of the police, afraid it would put them or their abuser at great risk of violence from police intervention being more harmful versus helpful. Silence because we as Black women possess a strong sense of cultural affinity and loyalty to our race, which often targets Black men and stereotypes them as being violent and aggressive. So we don't want to add to that stereotype. We remain silent due to the cultural norms that tells Black women to be strong in any situation, regardless of the physical and emotional harm or pain it may cause. Silent because we don't even realize we're in an abusive relationship, because we have not been taught what emotional or physical abuse looks like or how we should be treated in a relationship. We remain silent because our abusers control the narrative before we can, gaslighting our stories of abuse and often playing the victim themselves. We remain silent out of fear of judgment, shame, isolation, or alienation. So as a result, the abuse remains covered up. What leads one to be abusive?
Okay, so you guys heard that that lady, that young lady that gave that statistics that Black women are more likely, or 6 times more likely, to get abused, essayed by the men that they know in their family or their friend group. And this becomes very dangerous to Black women because we don't have protection in our community. So that allows other people to harm us, because we all know in this country that Black women, let's keep it real, that Black women are not valued in this country. Um, uh, and we are very much targeted uh, in this country. So more than likely it's due to this, because Black women are not taken seriously when it comes to domestic violence, when it comes to SA and things like that. And that needs to change dramatically. It needs to change. So it goes back to why our children need therapy. Our children do need therapy because they're going to be caught up in this drama in the Black community that they were born into. And as parents, you need to put your children's safety first, because these are your children and they're the future of your community. They need to come first. So we need to put them into therapy, because there's going to be a lot of trauma that they're going to face. The boys are going to face rejection in dating. They're going to face racism in this country, while the girls are going to face colorism, sexism, racism, and being a woman all together. And this is going to harm the child's self-esteem, to where these kids, especially the boys, are going to become menace to society because they do not know how to handle their feelings. They do not know how to express their feelings. So this is where therapy comes in, where we are able to help our children handle these things that society throws at them, because society don't see these children as important. They see them as a waste. They see them as not valuable. They see them as nothing in this world. So as parents, we need to change that. We need to install positivity. We need to send our kids to therapy to how to handle rejection, how to handle society as a whole when they go out and they become adults doing adult things. And we need to also install positive discipline, because as a community growing up, we don't we don't have those things growing up. I'm not saying that they're not happening now, but it's just a small amount because we grew up differently. When we get punished, we will get whoopings. We would parents do not communicate with their children or how they feel. They don't check up on their children. Um, there's a lot of things that the Black community needs to work on, because your children are first and foremost in your lives. So we have to make sure that our children get the right guidance and positive discipline. And what positive discipline means is when you redirect the child into the right direction where they need to go in life. We don't. This will help the child navigate through life and know how to navigate through life without searching on how to get through life. So let me guys read you the positive discipline. Um, Positive discipline is an approach to parenting and education that empathize mutual respect, understanding, and guidance. It was popularized by Dr. Jane Nelson and forces to fostering cooperation and problem-solving skills in children. The method aims to teach valuable life skills while maintaining a strong parent-child connection, rather than relying on punitive measures. Positive discipline is based on altering of physiology, physiology or psychology, and can be applied by parents, teachers, communities, leaders to create a responsible and respectful relationship. It corroborates various reinforcement, punishment strategies to encourage positive behavior. So what they're saying is that when we use this alternative, it will help guide our children to become more independent. It will help them make better decisions as they grow up to become adults. But when we use punishment, and when we use certain languages that will harm our child, let's just put it in this example: you're stupid, you won't amount to nothing, or something like that. That can actually harm our child, and it will hurt them mentally. We do not want to uh, lower our child's self-esteem, because that would actually harm them, instead of redirecting them and letting them know why they're doing the things that they're doing wrong, and just guide them into a positive direction, saying, instead of throwing things, let's just pick them up and put them back gently on the shelves. So that's positive redirecting the child to do a positive thing, because that can redirect their bad behavior. And this is where therapy comes in. Redirecting is good, but we also have to do more into their mental state. and helping our children be more productive in society, going through a positive interaction. Because look at the Black community today. In the media, all you hear is about crime and murder and other negative things, instead of just hearing about the positive things that are going into the community. Because we do have good parents out there that are trying their best to help their kids in the right direction. But if we have to do if we have to do that and guide our children in the right direction, we have to do that, because we want our children to become successful. We want our children to have a better life growing up than we did. So it's always good to have our children going to therapy and talking to a counselor. That helps a lot. It helps them navigate through the world, through how to interact with people, how to get around certain situations that could be negative to them and put them in harm's way. But there's always a redirection that could help effectively help our children in the long run. So the difference in positive discipline versus punishment. So we're going to get into that, because there is a difference when it comes to these things. And this will help understand there is a difference because between positive discipline and punishment, because this will affect how your child navigate through life and how they interact with people. And it goes back to that video I just saw of these unalivings, or because they cannot navigate through the world and how to handle rejection because they wasn't taught that. So there is an article that I want to share with you that breaks down the difference between punishment and actual discipline, because punishment is not discipline. It is something totally different. Like when I was growing up, I had discipline in my life, but mostly I had to face punishment. Like, have you ever heard when you get in trouble, your parents tell you you're on punishment, and they make you clean the house, they make you clean the toilets, they make you wash the dishes. You know, that's good. Like, I could understand like that can help you in the long run, but you're not teaching your child that when they're not learning nothing. There's nothing to learn because you're not sitting down and talking to your child about how you can lead them into the right direction. You're not doing that. You're just punishing them and giving them extra chores when that's not really doing nothing to help them. That's just exercising your authority. But let me get to this definition of discipline. So, has a long-term impact on behavior, teaches through modeling, feedback, and coaching, focus on skill building, assume positive intent and sees a child inherit goodness, may include natural or relevant consequences, results in the child's learning new skills to meet developmentally appropriate expectations. So this is the discipline side of the spectrum, where you're teaching them through role modeling how you conduct yourself while you're at home, or how you are communicating in public. When you are, okay, let's say for example, you are with your child, you're going through Walmart, right? And you're showing your child how you should behave while you're in public, instead of, being loud and belligerent, and disrespecting people in public. You show others respect when it's given. So that's one of, the positive disciplines, through feedback and coaching your child into the right direction. So let's go to discipline. Well, not discipline, but punishment. So punishment is it's totally different, like I said, from discipline. Um, it just enforces your authority on the child, and it really doesn't help your child in the long run. It's very short term, the punishment, because the child don't even know what they did wrong, because you don't explain to them what they did wrong. You could explain to them what they did wrong, but you forcing the punishment on them will resent you even more, instead of just giving you a positive direction, and giving them feedback and coaching how they could have done things differently. So here is a punishment: has a short-term effect on behavior. Teaches through fear, threat, abandonment, or a pain. Focuses on wrongdoing, assumptions, negative intent, includes judgment, and includes any negative, uh, let me see, uh, may include unrelative negative consequences. Outcome is often the child avoidance or shame. And this is often true, because this is how I feel when adults do this to children. And it only focuses on their wrongdoing, instead of uh, just focusing how they can get the child to do a positive thing. And it goes back to the reminding them of the consequences of their actions, just to be relatable and relevant, and trying to inherit goodness into your child, so that they can be able to understand, like, hey, I can, instead of doing this, I can do the other things that I can do positively. Because I seen the punishments in schools too when I grew up. The fear, the threats, and the betterment. Because let me show you an example of what a threat is. If you do not and for example, this is an example of punishment. When a parent tells you, if you do not clean up your room, I would whoop you, or you're going to get it. That is a threat to your child. That's a threat. And that's going to install fear into your child, instead of telling them what they're doing wrong, right? Or, well, not telling them what they're doing wrong, just redirecting them to focus on the positive things that they can do to help them navigate through whatever the child is going through at that moment. So as parents, we need to get rid of the punishment and focus on discipline, because when you install punishment, that's not helping the child at all. So um, is going back to the therapy where it can also help the parents as well how to redirect their child into becoming very positive, becoming motivated, and how you can become a better parent yourself. And this will help, your child as well. So hopefully that helps. I'm sorry for the mix up, uh, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm still working on the difference between discipline and punishment because as a child, I always saw the punishment side of things instead of the discipline side of things. And that kind of affected me as a child. And I'm working on redirecting my habits into a more positive um, direction. And it's helping me because I'm getting guidance through that. So it can help you understand what the child is going through at that moment, and you guys listening to the child when they're telling you how they feel, because often because adults ignore the children's feelings because they feel it's not important. When the child is expressing to you how they feel, we should listen to them because we can correct we can be able to correct what the child is going through at that moment. And this is going back to the rejection that these guys are going through growing up, because there's too many incidents where males are unaliving women because they're feeling rejected, and this will help males in the future. Hopefully we can redirect um, our boys into becoming good, productive men, because this is what Black women want. We want our sons to be positive men and treat their Black women with respect and cherish the women in their community. There's going way too often when we hearing women getting unalived in their romantic relationship and on their dates because these men did not grow up having positive discipline, or are going through therapy to help them navigate through the ups and downs that they have in everyday life, because therapy can help the boys in our community, because especially they need it to help the boys navigate on how they can get around rejection and not get their feelings hurt when a woman rejection. I'm not saying rejection doesn't hurt. Rejection does hurt, but there is ways you can get over that, right? And therapy helps a lot when your child needs it the most, because now they're in a real world where um, where they are not used to women rejecting them, right? So now, because we have women that are catering to the boys and they are not seeing the positive discipline that's happening, the women are just, how can I, what is that word? Because it's not positive discipline. This is not positive discipline. I think there's another word for this. It is when you are not um, enforcing your child to um, do what's right, but you're actually letting them do what they want to do. Let's say, for instance, when your child is destroying the supermarket, he's throwing bottles on and cans on the floor, and you just turn around and say, "Oh, he's just a child." There's a word for that. I'm trying to get a word for that. I can't think about it right now, but that's not positive discipline. That's something else. I think that's I just thought of the word a couple of days ago. Now I lost it. Oh my goodness! But there's a difference in that when you allow the child to run the household or something like that. But this is how these men grew up because they didn't have that discipline in their household. Their mothers let them run the household however they want growing up, or they did not have that motherly love, whichever is going on nowadays, where these men are unaliving these women. Um, they did not have positive role models in their life, especially when it comes to having dads. Like the dad should be involved more in their life because there's no guidance. You can tell there's no guidance in these men that are harming these women. There's no guidance. So when you don't have a positive father figure there to guide you, to help you and navigate through the world, this is what happens. A lot of women get harmed because they're not being protected at all. And this is forcing women to go to like firearms and bear spray, pepper spray, mace, or whatever you want to call it. Now these women are now armed are at arms because they are being attacked fully by men. So we have to be more aware now and be more prepared because now we are being harmed and we're being unalive. So a lot of the women are now carrying firearms. They're carrying firearms now because it's dangerous out there now, and these guys don't have guidance. So when you hear these TikTok videos and you hear stories on YouTube of how women face domestic violence or their family speak up to a family member that is no longer here because due to being unalive, due to domestic violence, it's pretty scary to listen to, and it kind of makes you wonder: is it really safe to date, or is it really safe to get married nowadays because of what is happening? You're hearing these stories. I'm not saying that you will not find a right guy. You will find the right guy that's out there, but if we have a bunch of manosphere red pill guys running around these streets acting a fool, it limits the women's dating pool of finding that guy that fits for them. So we have to be careful not to cater to any of these guys. We have to look out for ourselves first, and we have to look out for our children. So that's all I have for this video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. You guys have an amazing day. Bye.